Hello everybody, today I wanted to talk about diabetes. So I know diabetes is a huge pain in the anus, but I want you to kind of think about diabetes as a something that you are not alone in. There are 100 million Americans in the United States, obviously, who have prediabetes or diabetes. So think about that. That's almost a third of Americans are dealing with a chronic endocrinatic illness, and it's crazy. Obesity is insane in this country. Diabetes is correlated with obesity, but there are other things that are contributing factors to diabetes. I just wanted to go over them. So diabetes can be caused from, obviously, lifestyle, being sedentary and eating kind of this high carbohydrate around the clock diet. You're always exposing your pancreas to sugar that it needs to deal with. Can be caused by drugs like certain HIV medications can cause diabetes. Certain steroids can cause diabetes, like high-dose prednisone or long-term prednisone use can cause diabetes. There's certain antipsychotics can cause diabetes, and so can some anti-seizure medications. Also, illnesses like Cushing's disease, hyperthyroidism can contribute to the development of diabetes. But really the big story, I think, in the United States is weight, is just having way too much gut fat and not moving around enough. So exercise kind of has a lot of benefits. It's not just keeping the weight down. Exercise also helps a lot with preventing the development of diabetes, even if you are somebody who has that kind of that calling card of an American, this gut fat here that I have about 30 pounds of. That is obviously something that can also lead to the development of diabetes. So when I conceptualize diabetes, basically I try to think about generally what is going on in the body. So when you were young, you could eat candy around the clock. You weren't going to develop diabetes. Now kids are getting it younger, but generally speaking, when you were young and healthy, what occurs is when you take a donut, let's say a Krispy Kreme donut, which is basically dissolves into sugar in your stomach. It's almost like taking a glucose tablet. When you take a Krispy Kreme donut, it hits your stomach. The intestines will absorb all that sugar and send it out into the bloodstream in the form of a simple sugar called glucose. So table sugar is basically glucose and fructose combined together, and glucose is kind of the fuel for the body. Obviously there's something called a ketogenic diet, but I won't get into. But generally speaking, glucose is kind of a fuel for your body. And if you have too much of it, it can cause problems physiologically. So your body has developed a way to deal with that, and it's through the pancreas. So the pancreas, through the beta cells of the pancreas, will release a shot of insulin to counteract that Krispy Kreme donut that you just had. But what occurs sometimes, if you're somebody probably similar to me who has kind of a slightly addictive personality, if you are eating, let's say, Krispy Kreme donuts, and you're having Coca-Cola, and you're eating candy, and you have this sugar craving all the time, if you're eating like that around the clock, what happens is the pancreas will churn out insulin fine. You'll just keep churning it out. And the body never has a break, never has a chance to recover from all that insulin, and your body kind of becomes almost like addicted to insulin. You can think of it as, that first dose of heroin that the heroin user has is, so whatever, he has an amazing high or what have you, but as it goes on and on, they have to keep using more and more and more heroin. The same thing is occurring with insulin in your body. So your body, mostly your fat cells, have something called insulin receptors. So as you're producing more and more insulin from the pancreas because of all those Krispy Kremes, your body is actually producing less insulin receptors. So they're becoming more and more resistant to insulin. They're becoming less sensitive. Now you can fight insulin sensitivity through exercise. That's the best way to fight it. You can fight it through medicine, and there's also some natural products. I won't get into all of them, or I won't get into the natural products on this video. But with that insulin resistance, your pancreas has to produce more and more insulin, and it turns into this really vicious cycle where the pancreas produces a lot of insulin, the body becomes more and more resistant to that insulin, and you have the cycle until something breaks down. You know, your body is like a car. Parts break down, parts get older, and the pancreas starts to age beyond its years, and you have a situation where the cells of the pancreas, the beta cells in the pancreas, will actually start to die. And then you have a situation where your sugar levels are starting to become kind of abnormal, and it starts with pre-diabetes, and that leads to diabetes, and you have kind of you have an issue. You have diabetes now, and that is sort of basically how I think about diabetes. Your liver produces sugar as well, so your liver has the ability to produce sugar so that when you're not eating, your brain can function on the sugar that the liver produces. Your liver also stores sugar in the form of glycogen, and it'll store about, it's different for different people and based on the size of the liver, but most people have almost a day's worth of calories in their liver. The fat uses the insulin and stores it, so insulin is also a fat storage hormone. So when you take insulin and you're diabetic, you're actually putting sugar into your fat cells, and a lot of people will gain weight when they take insulin or drugs that increase insulin in the body. So I hope this kind of gives you an idea about how to kind of think about what is occurring in diabetes. If you have any other questions, or if you have any ideas for videos, I'm always open to ideas for a video. If there's anything that you guys are interested in, just let me know and I'll make a video about it. So I want to thank you guys for watching Jeff the Pharmacist. I appreciate it, and please like and please subscribe. It would really help me out a lot. Thanks a lot.